Along with the student's reflection, part of a Level 2 portfolio is providing connection, interaction, dialogue, and feedback about the student's work. And this process of reflection and feedback gets repeated for each learning activity or artifact. Now, a lot of people try to organize their work thematically, and that type of portfolio, or what I call a Level 3 portfolio, is really the portfolio as showcase or the portfolio as product, where the student organizes their work around a set of outcomes, goals, or standards. That work is really done in preparation for either the end of the year or it's done in preparation for parent-teacher conferences. But I want to caution you that we don't jump to that final presentation prematurely. Really, that final presentation is only toward the end of the year, but we need to build up a record of the process of learning over time. And that's where documenting that learning process over time through a learning journal, through a Stage 2 portfolio, is incredibly important. So that's just sort of a warning. We tend to want to organize that work thematically from the beginning. But I think that's something that happens more toward the end of the process, either toward the end of the year or toward the end or when preparing for parent conferences. So sort of that fifth stage, the summative reflection, where students select specific pieces of work. Students write a more overview reflection, looking back over the course or the program or the year, and provide that meta-analysis of the learning experience. They review all the blog entries. They should be able to link to specific entries that are already stored in their blog. So when a piece of work and when an artifact is stored in a blog and includes that reflection, just-in-time reflection, students then in this more summative portfolio, or the Stage 3 portfolio, can link to those different examples, those different blog entries that include both the reflection and the artifact. And this is where the teacher gives feedback and evaluation of the portfolio as a whole using a rubric, which you'll want to eventually develop. And the final stage of the process is really publishing the portfolio, presenting it, organized as we talked about earlier, organizing it thematically, adding the evidence, creating an introduction page, and basically providing more of a polished, a finished piece. We won't go in depth into what tools you'll be using, but with this model, you really need to think about that it's less about talking. It's less about telling and more about talking. So you need tools for conversation or dialogue, and that's where the blog becomes much more effective than any type of a presentation tool set. One of the things that I like about Web 2.0 tools is that they are ubiquitous. Tools like blogs and wikis and Google Docs and Google Sites and Ning and those types of things really support the learning process very well. We'll talk about that in more depth the next time we meet.